Hello and welcome, my name is Excalibur and this is Mindball. This is an interesting little racing type game where you essentially play as a large mesosphere and participate in races. The game is designed by a small indie Swedish team, if I remember correctly, who developed the idea based on the idea that it would use brainwaves to control the game via a specially designed headband, which would then interpret your controls from there. However, they've released the game on early access on Steam and they've added controller support. And I thought I'd just give it a go because it looked rather interesting. So because we're playing off a ball, we're essentially going to be guided by physics, so the longer I push forwards the faster I'll accelerate, the harder it becomes to turn. I've only played this once before for about 10 minutes just to get an idea of how it works. So yeah, I won't be the best of players right at the moment. But you can manipulate certain parts of the environment to help move you faster or help you get past certain obstacles and potentially develop shortcuts and methods of getting around the obstacles based on slippery oil. That's not good. As you see, the oil completely ruined my friction, so I became unable to control myself. So we can get up here. And this is where I fall apart at the first real barrier. And when we go there, yep. Should be able to just jet across this last section. Got too fast around there. I really like the visuals of the game, and the track design is very reminiscent of something like Wipeout or F-Zero almost, except with these little contained areas where you move through the industrial complex type zones. Oops, that was a bit of a bad move. And there we go. Let's see if we can do any better with that. So I'm going to assume, like Super Mario Kart, there'll be little acceleration tricks and such which you'll be able to pull off at the start of each race by guessing just the right amount of forwards motion just before the actual gate lifts up and then taking off at full speed before anything gets going. Ooh, that's a bit of a rubbish turn there. However, the game itself does feel, very intuitive to play. It feels very smooth moving, even though I'm not very good at it just yet. Oh, right in the oil again. You get a very natural sense for the flow of movement and how fast you should or shouldn't be going. Let's back up there and go for this one instead. We should be able to beat our previous time quite easily. And yeah, the race controls are essentially very good. If you take the time to pay attention to the speed you're moving and also then manipulate the ball itself and consider the angles at which you approach certain things, you can actually get very good speed going and avoid obstacles very easily. There we go, that's much better. Let's have a look at one of the other tracks, I think. There's quite a few tracks available already as well for an early access game. It's pretty decent. They're only short, but realistically they don't need to be huge, and essentially I guess they could be looped around if they wanted to create a multiple lap design. So let's see, I've got a little bit of bonus speed there. Let's hit this bumper. Oh, there's one over that side, didn't notice. Whoa. I also love the visual aesthetic. They've got great use of colours, and also the track designs just flow very well with it. It's like, for an industrial complex type design it could have been very boring very easily, but instead everything looks very interesting and it's got a nice thumping dance track to keep you going while you carefully manipulate your ball around the corners. Ooh, just about. Also, the camera is very nice. It's not really blocked my view at any point except when I've actually turned it myself. And not actually taking into consideration how close to a wall I might be. So I have no real complaints about any of the control systems. Oh, here we go. Oh, slippery lasers. Oh, they're off the edge. This is going to be tricky. Combination of timing and very careful manipulation of the angles I'm moving on. Oh, oh. No cheating. That was a reminiscent drop of the Mario Kart, sorry, not Mario Kart, of Mario 64 on the Penguin race, where you jump off the ledge on the snowy level. Really liking this game so far, it's very interesting and cool. I'll give each track a couple of turns, we'll go through a bunch of different tracks, just have a quick good look at how everything is. See how things are shaping up. So far I've got to admit this is a very solid racer, and it seems the emphasis is going to be on creating more tracks and also making sure that the multiplayer aspect is huge with the leaderboards and online play all supported. It'd be very interesting to see multiple people playing this at the same time. I'm sure it'd be absolutely hilarious. So everybody knocks each other out of the way and desperately tries to win. Also, you can customise your ball, which is quite an interesting one. I went with this funky dark design with a nice neon pink lighting. It was very stylish. Whoa. Oh no, got a laser. Couldn't actually slow myself down enough because I hit the oil as well, which was not the best of combinations. Much smoother run there overall, and start the turn a bit earlier, and I hit this. Let's go. Should be a huge improvement, well maybe not a huge improvement, but an improvement nonetheless on my previous run. 6 seconds faster, is it? Yeah, I like this track as well, that's a very cool track and very cool music to go along with it. Let's have a look. Coil, that sounds interesting. Let's give it a go. Highly recommend this game as well because it's only £5, and from the tracks I've played and the couple of goes that I've given it, it seems like a lot of fun. There's huge room for improvements, and with online leaderboards you can always improve on your own time trial speeds and attempt to beat other people. The emphasis always being on the competitive side of things. Oh, this is a very cool track. I love the way they've got like a roller coaster visual aesthetic, which reminds me of a game from absolutely years back now called Trackmania, which had absolutely insane race tracks which literally had loops and sidewinders and things like that, but not quite as creative looking as or feeling as this. However, it maintains a nice speed, it's not too fast, it's not quite Sonic Hedgehog blitzing yourself into the side of a wall or anything, but also at the same time you do move at a fair clip, so you... Whoa, that's cool. Whoa. Oh, and down we go. And it keeps you guessing as to where each track's going to go. None of them are boringly designed. Whoops. Hit the post at the last moment there, that was pretty cool. Give that one another whirl. Really liking this music as well. As a fan of electronic dance music myself, it's very acceptable. It's like just enough to get you hyped, but not actually distract you from what you're doing or focusing on the track itself. Nice little head nodders. Carefully spin myself around here and get some speed up this time. So I went around quite slow last time. It's more like it. So very cool. Also, I don't feel like distracted by the wildness of the track design or anything. It all feels very easy to follow. I don't feel like I'm actually getting any obstacles like from the actual random background objects, that type of thing. So just focusing very carefully on what I'm doing. End up pausing the load in between each thing I say. Let's go. Can we beat all last time? Oh, it's going to be close. I think we've done it though. Yep. Easy peasy. Only a second, but better than nothing. Nice. Let's have a look at another track. Skyscraper, Party on Pluto. Very funky looking track now. Go for Accelerator, it looks really interesting. Also, as I mentioned, the game is only £5 on Steam, so for a very small investment, it's definitely worth your time. Even if you don't play a huge amount, you'll still get a lot of these tracks. They're very cool. The soundtrack itself actually seems like it'd be worth picking up. Let's go. Oh, where are we going? This is an interesting spacious map. Or track, should I say. Boing. Whoa. You have a pachinko vibe there. Got out of it though, let's go. Oh, this is a very cool soundtrack going on in the background as well. Reminiscent of late 90s, early 2000s vocal trance. Ooh, and there we go. Probably some kind of optimal path over this bumpy landscape, but I'm just going to plow straight through it for the time being. So I'm thinking about it, no doubt, for if you ride the dips down and then look for dips that naturally become hills, rather than going up hills to start with, like down here, then over here, you'll maintain a higher speed than just going up the hills all the time. Also, because the game is very heavily physics-based, the inertia of the ball is very dependent on how it interacts with the environment and your own controls, of course. So unnecessary turning or excessive turning can slow you down a lot. Bumping against objects and creating extra friction will slow you down also. Maintaining frictionless motion is basically the aim of the game. Wow, this is really cool. Whoa, just cut across a track there. Interesting little shortcut. Very super monkey ball vibe off this one. Oh, this is super cool looking. Love that lighting effect. It's quite a lengthy track as well, I like it a lot. There we go. Trying to keep away from the walls as best I can. Let's try and get through this. Oh, hit one. Oh, got over the rest though. Out we go. 2 minutes 30. Double the length of some of the other tracks, but really cool nonetheless. Nice, let's go again. I like the level of creativity overall in all the tracks so far. Not a single one of them feels similar or even remotely samey. Yes, it doesn't feel like I've got to learn a ton of new things every time. Instead, I'm applying what I've already learnt and getting better each time. So they introduce new challenges with each track you approach, but they also don't make it too complex that you feel overwhelmed at any point. Gotta go straight past or nope, straight into it. Actually kind of handy for us. Accelerated quite high. Highly due to the slippery oil. So we'll go through these. Oh yep, that was cool. Just get myself, yep, just don't lose too much momentum. Ride this hill over there and down is this dip. See, down this dip and then over this hill. Yeah, that's it, moving on a much better clip than earlier. Ride along that ridge and over this left side now. Whee. away we go. Should be doing far better than the previous run. This should be quite a good one. Really do love the little booster pads. It's like all the best parts of a Sonic level in one of the 3D games, without any of the negatives. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah. And again, outstanding visuals. Everything's nice and clean cut, but also there's so much detail in the environment and on everything going on, but you never feel distracted whatsoever. It's like on the very good Wipeout tracks where you just know where you're meant to go, you can see very easily what you're doing. You don't feel distracted, yet you can appreciate the visuals. Whoops, that was terrible. Let's try and get around it. Yep, go around, avoid on hand. There we go. I think that last bump killed off my time run. Ended up being a little bit slower. Never mind. Let's check out one more. I love the fact that it loads very quickly as well. There's no delay or messing around. Let's see. Let's have a party on Pluto. I wonder if it's going to be a low gravity one. See, that visual looks insane. The idea of playing with like 10 or so people all just flying around the track at the same time. It's a very cool level. Again with the awesome trancey synths kicking in. Let's go. Oh, yep, got it. Oh, there, around we go. Yep. Not a single laser touch. Hey, look, those balls are cheering me on. Wait, what? Let's avoid that oil. We don't want to go off the edge because there are no rails here. It's gonna be fun. Around that outer edge cleanly. I see that oil. Ooh. Oh no, lost it. I'm a bit too fast off that edge there. It's a very cool design. Love the fact that I can just glance at the glance at the backgrounds and just have a quick nose round while I'm skidding around the track at high speed. Very simplistic background compared to some of the others, but it also sets the scene very well. And this music's just freaking awesome. Yeah. Love the jumps, love the speed bumps, it's all super cool. Nice. Give another track a go and see what we can find. Let's go for skyscraper, that looks interesting. For highly competitive players as well, there's almost always going to be ways to improve on and just get that little bit extra out of each run that you do. It always feels like there's going to be just one more bumper you could have hit, or one more corner you could have taken a little bit sharper. And knowing that the inertia of the ball is completely under your control, he says as he swerves off the edge. Oh, there we go. Wow, that's a tricky little chicane. Knowing that the inertia is 100% under your own control, wow, you're going to have to be careful here. I want to go fast, but I'm going to have to ride the outer edge as carefully as I can. Let's focus for a moment. Oh, don't want that speed bump just yet. Maybe on the second run through this area. Oh. Yep, I've got to be really careful on this one. As I was saying though, knowing that the inertia of a ball is 100% under your control and every positive or negative aspect of your run is down to yourself is a huge bonus, because you know it's purely skill based. There is no cheesing it. Oh, as you can see, you have to sacrifice speed for control, and your control has to be top tier. Oof, I'm doing terribly on this one. I think I'm going a bit too wildly around these corners where I should be controlling it a lot more rather than aiming for high speed. Oof. Whoa. Yep, slipping off again. I've died on, well, should I say died or gone off track more times in this single track than all the others combined. Over multiple attempts. This is possibly one of the most challenging ones I've had so far. And yes, it still doesn't feel like it's cheap or it's the game's fault. It just feels like I should have been paying more attention and taking into consideration what kind of speed I was doing. So as you can see, you can make the sharpest of turns even when you're going quite high speed, but you have to completely manipulate the ball's inertia before it will actually follow you down the path you want. Successfully avoided every single boost of it. Was intentional, of course. Wow, that's a tough track. I'll give that one another go. That's a lot of fun. I can imagine playing this against friends would be... Oh. Well, I think I'll restart that one. Call that a false start. Playing this against friends would be absolutely hysterical, especially at parties. This is 100% one of those Mario Kart type games where everybody's desperate to win. And knocking each other off tracks would be absolutely hysterical. Whoa, let's try and control this a bit better this time. We'll knock down some of our speed and make sure we just don't go off the track itself. Ooh. Also like that the, what do you call it, the back on track system, where it basically puts you back on the track after you fall off, is very forgiving. It doesn't feel like it's cheaping yourselves or anything. Instead it puts you back in a decent place. Oh, here we go again. It puts you back in a decent place where you can easily pick up from where you were without feeling like it's being unfair or putting you in a weird position. Try and ride this a bit more carefully, a bit lower down. Oh, jeez. Should have stayed lower down. Instead of try to go along the straighter part at the top, get more speed going. Here we go. Okay, so let's slow ourselves down before we hit this. Oh. Control, control. So, too much control. Took that one too sharply this time. Oh my god. This is one of those tracks which I would be determined to keep on playing until I got better and better and better at it. So far I'd consider this like the ghost house track of the old Mario Kart games. You know you're going to fall off if you're not super skillful, and this against multiple people would be absolutely a combination of nightmare and also some of the funniest stuff you'd ever see in your life. 12 people just smashing each other off the tracks back and forth over there would be hysterical. No doubt it would end up in the top 10 anime betrayals of all time. Oh, no. I pushed left so hard I actually bounced clean off. That's more like it. So there should be a booster here. Oh, flew over it. Actually going pretty fast already. Whoa. Whew. That's a tough but fun track. I like it a lot. I was just barely over the 2 stars track rating. Never mind. And that is a taste of Mindball. I highly recommend the game. As I say, it's only £5 on Steam, so if you want to pick it up, just have a fun little racer with some funky little choices for your appearance in it, then feel free to. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. My name's Excalibur, and this has been Mindball. See you soon.